A city dead for 1,000 years. A city I had to see with my own eyes. The end of Yuna's journey. The last chapter in my story. My thoughts, they kept floating up and then slipping through my fingers, slipping away before I could pin them down with words.
Yuna, I say no. If we go down there, then you'll...
Riku, you're a true friend, and I thank you, but I must go. Down to Samarkand.
I'm not saying we shouldn't go. But shouldn't we think about it some more? There's gotta be some kind of way we can save you, Yuna!
All my life, I knew this moment would come.
Yuni...
Thank you, Riku. Thank you for everything.
Don't say that, Yuni. It's not over yet.
Tell Sid, thank you.
No, you can tell him yourself.
Please.
Yuni, don't say that because we're gonna see each other again, okay?
Kimari, let's go.
This is really odd, okay? I don't know whether you can actually just keep walking. Like, there's a huge scene, and I don't know whether you can miss it. Obviously, a sphere just dropped from Yuna. And anyone's going to want to interact with it. You even see on the map it's got a special icon, an X. But I don't know what happens if you keep running. I'm obviously going to interact with it. There's no way I can miss this, but yeah. Because you have to press X on it. Bit nosy, but alright. This cutscene we're about to see, by the way, you have control of the camera. So this is me moving the camera here. A lot of people don't know you have control of the camera here, but you do. It's something about the sphere technology they have in this world, where you can change your perspective if you're watching a movie, in theory.
Sir Orin, Kimari told me, when my father wanted me taken from Bavel to Besaid, it was you who told Kimari, right? I had always wanted to meet you someday. I am truly glad that I had that chance. Having you as a guardian was so great an honor. I don't know how to thank you. Perhaps, if I defeat Sin, that will be my thanks to you. That's what I'll do. Yes. I will challenge Sin. I will defeat Sin. If you are all there watching this, then I guess Sin is already gone. And so am I suppose. Anyway, I just wanted to say, Sir Orin, I thank you. Kimari, do you remember the first day we met? I was only 7. My father had defeated Sin, and all Bavel was celebrating. Everyone was saying what a hero my father was. I was so happy. But when night came, it occurred to me. My father had defeated Sin, and now he was dead. Now I was all alone. I couldn't sleep. So I wandered into the town, away from the celebrating crowds. I stood on the bridge in Bavel, where my father and I had parted. standing there, alone. I could see the fields where he had fought sin. Then, you appeared, Kimahri. You said you were looking for the daughter of Braska, remember? At first, I was so scared. Until I realized what a gentle person you are. You weren't used to talking to children. When I told you that I was Braska's daughter, you said you would take me as far from Bavel as you could. That it was the wish of a man facing death. I think I cried then, because that was when I knew my father was dead, and I would never see him again. You just held me, without saying a word. I cried after we got to Besaid, too. When you tried to go, after leaving me in the care of the temple, I held on to you crying, "Don't go, don't go." And you listened, Kimahri. You stayed. Kimahri, thank you. Thank you so much. And I've always liked your broken horn. Waka, Lulu. I'll never forget my days spent with you, growing up in Besaid. We always played together, us and Chapu. That's why I was always so happy, I think. And when you refused to let me become a summoner, and I did it anyway, I'm sorry. I've always wanted to apologize. You know, when you tried to stop me then, really, I was happy. I could tell you really cared about me. You were like my big brother and sister. No, I think you really were my big brother and sister. What else? I love watching you play blitzball, Waka. I even love it when you scold me, Lulu. Really. I guess that leaves the newest guardian. Star player of the Xanarkand Ames. You are. I am. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that we met. We haven't even known each other that long, but it's funny. So this is what it feels like. It's a much more wonderful feeling than anything I had ever imagined. Wonderful. But it hurts sometimes. I wonder. I just want to say thank you for everything. Maybe that's why it hurts. When I think about us never being together again at all. I'm afraid. No, I shouldn't say that. I'll do that part over.
What you up to?
No! Oh my god. If you go back and actually rewatch that old episode, apart from me blathering on about, oh, there's something else going on, if you watch that scene, I believe as I walked out the inn, I was like, look really carefully at what people are doing. You can see she sat in the exact same way, and you can tell, oh wow, she was doing the sphere recording. I have a lot to say about that. I think, obviously it's really cool to get into Yuna's head a bit. It's nice to get a bit of perspective of another person. You know, slowly as the story's gone in, it's sort of started to show, yeah, this is what we were doing, but Yuna's had her whole thing going on as well at the same time. I like the little touches there as well. As you can move the camera, you see different things. So like Like, Wakka's sitting outside. Why is Wakka... Obviously, Kimahri's always watching over Yuna, so there's that. Auron had just newly been appointed a Guardian, and he was watching her quite closely at that time, too. I guess he always was. But then Wakka's sat outside, not really watching Yuna, but why is he out there? Because that was the Al Bhed shop, and he was a racist bastard back then. So he's out there. That was cool. It's cool to see us come outside. And also some of the things she talks about there are really interesting, actually. They're hints at stuff like... So... after Sin was defeated, she was taken away from Bevelle, her hometown where she'd lived her whole life with Braska, at the request of a dying man to leave Bevelle. Why? I mean, we know that Auron doesn't really like Yevon that much himself. He sort of saw them for what they really were. But how did that come about with Auron and Braska as well? It sort of suggests something happened to them all in Zanarkand. And that's where we're about to go. And yeah, you know, I love that scene, the fact that it's us seeing something that felt like it was so long ago now. How long ago was that? Jesus. On the Mi'ihen High Road. And now here we are at Zanarkand. You can walk up on this rock and get like a nice view here. And even just recently before we hit the Calmlands and we had that kiss in the pool, Tidus even said then, look, I'll take you to Zanarkand. I'll show you this beautiful sunset that bathes the entire city in this beautiful glow. I'll show it to you one day. And even though the city's been destroyed and this isn't the city he was thinking of, it's sort of true. They give you no music here, just the sound of the wind as you walk down. It's very ambient, really. You know, that screen we were just on, actually, I once had an art project where I was really inspired by that shot of Zanarkand, and I wanted to draw like a city that from left to right across the page as you viewed it, it started as like a beautiful city, but as you looked further across, the sun would like rise in the sky and then it would start to set, and on the right hand side of the page it would be like the city all destroyed and stuff. But it ended up crap and I never did very well with it. But here, this may look familiar to some of you guys. So yeah, it's the first cutscene. I'm not going to sit here in silence this time. Yeah, you get to see it again. The funny thing about Final Fantasy X is, on the original, if you loaded the game up without a save file, it would force you to watch this cutscene before you could click new game. And then when you clicked new game, it would force you to watch this cutscene again. And then towards the end of the game, it would come on again. So it could get a bit hazardous to some people. I really like it though. This is like a frame narrative. It shows you something towards the end, right at the start. And this time we get to look at these characters and what's going on with a totally new perspective. I like to think, you know, one of the reasons why they're all sitting in such sadness right now is because Yuna's coming to the end of her life. But also this weird stuff has just been revealed to the group about Jecht being Sin. And, you know, just generally for all of them, they're all a bit helpless right now. It's crazy, right? Now you can look through this group. You recognize all of them. Auron, Wakka, Lulu, Riku, Kimahri, and Yuna. These were just random faces before. And all we could think about was, wow, the main character's face looks a bit dumb. The music in the background is the main theme to the game. And it's just called Zanarkand. And I guess I could troll all of you guys now and just like loop my first episode from now on. We just end up in Blitzball in Zanarkand again. Will you sign my Blitzball?
Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
It's funny how what used to be like arcs of water flowing through the background now have just become arcs of fireflies, of the dead, waiting to be sent to the far plane.
Hey, there was more, right? I mean, like that time. Anyone?
I think
Yes?
that we should stop. Maybe. For now.
Stop talking, Titus. Don't be an idiot. That actually means let's grab all of our weapons and get going in the dead of the night. Sure. And obviously even the weapons you recognise is Yuna's default staff,
Let's go.
it's Wacker's Blitzball, and Titus's Brotherhood. Now, there's actually something really significant I think happens there that they don't really talk about. What has Titus just experienced for himself? He's seen Yuna's recording of her adventure, her thinking things down and talking things through, right? Then this night he stands on the side and he thinks to himself, listen to my story, this may be our last chance or whatever. I believe the whole way through the game, this is just my speculation, but all the time Titus has been like narrating to us. So for example, like when we're on the Mihen High Road and he quotes Yuna saying, don't say it isn't worth it because it is, it's always worth it or whatever. Those words that day, Yuna, I remember them well. You know how he's addressing all of these thoughts to Yuna? I think this was when he wrote those down or jotted them down, or you know, they came through to us as the audience. This is when I think that he sort of made those notes. That's not to say there won't be moments of narration later, because I think there might be one or two, but I think that's where it's all meant to be. All of those thoughts he was having, where he was saying, oh, I wouldn't really understand why Yuna let Luzu fight that day until much later, obviously because she could recognize someone would die for what they believe in. And you know, when he says stuff like that, I think it's now that he's writing that all back, you know? It's now. We're now in the present, basically. And we get to see how this adventure ends. I'm going to save the game, and we're going to head into the ruined city of Zanarkand. Zanarkand itself, now, I'm sad to say, hate to ruin it for you guys, isn't actually that big. Oh, I need to... It's weird, man. I almost feel like this game would be better with no encounters. Like, for as much as there is to talk about it, I don't know how much I enjoy the combat in this game. Like, it's okay, and there's a lot of depth, and that's what I think brings it through. But the actual combat, the actual battle system is not that impressive. It's much better in other games. We've already seen these guys anyway. I'm going to flee from this. I don't think Yuna's going to have that ability I wanted her to have in time. Not unless I sit down and grind for a load during the day. I might finish this recording session and then just spend a long time grinding and stuff right before something big. So anyway, yeah, Zanarkand isn't actually that big. I mean, you get to travel along these old broken down bridges. Here's the fortune sphere I was talking about. So Wacker is he's no longer in range of any empty nodes, so it'll be a while before he gets it. He's almost got triple foul though and finished his path. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so it's really not that long, and therefore there's not that much to talk about either. I do have some trivia I can talk to you guys about though, that I went to the effort of figuring out. So hold on, first we want to Hastige here, completely outpace this guy. I think these Flans cast the highest level black magic in the game on you as well. It's a skill called Ultima. Pretty sure they cast it on you. So, some trivia. This is the only Final Fantasy where there's a Zanarkand. You know, sometimes there's like places that, you know, like there's a Chocobo Ranch in most of them and so on. This is the only game with a Zanarkand, but in 13.2, which is one of the most recent Final Fantasies to have come out, there is a character called Gilgamesh, who I've mentioned before when we were talking about Yojimbo. Gilgamesh in 13.2 says that he got his sword from a place called Zanarkand. Now, it's not referencing this Zanarkand exactly, but it's kind of cool that that's somewhere where Zanarkand has lasted in the rest of the franchise. I do care about that bio because I've got a lot of turns. Let's just use a regular antidote. You don't use the direct ones enough in this game because you get so many remedies. There you go, there's an antidote. So yeah, that's one thing about Zanarkand. Another thing is some dev stuff about it. Originally, they wanted to call it Registan. Seriously, they wanted to call it Registan, not Zanarkand, Registan. But they had to change that name during development because they realized Registan was actually somewhere that already, and then that was a nice hit, that already exists in the real world. Registan is a place. So they couldn't do it. All they knew is that after that is that they wanted to name Zanarkand. They wanted the name to end with either Stan or Kund at the end. Look at this long road. It gives you the illusion that it's a long path, but it's really not.
Looks like the far plane.
Close enough.
Oh man, Auron! It's like, yeah, this isn't new to me, whatever. I do what I want. So yeah, they knew that. So another thing about the name of Zanarkand, it was eventually, the name that they eventually chose, Zanarkand, is actually a reference to another place in real life called Samarkand, which it's a modern day city, but I don't think it's doing very well at the moment. Historically though, why did I do this before armor breaking? That was so stupid. Historically though, Samarkand in real life was like a really prosperous, wealthy nation. Where was it? It's in Uzbekistan actually, and it was really wealthy because it was on like trade routes between Asia and Arabia and stuff. So yeah, and that's actually what Zanarkand's named after, Samarkand, which is again a real world place. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really all the trivia I've got for you though about Zanarkand. Obviously big plot stuff here, and it's weird to think that, you know, where we're currently stood, it is 1,000-year-old ruin. Do you remember Auron all that time ago? I mean, it was on the Mi'ihen High Road. It was on that scene, on the High Road where we talked to Yuna, that we just saw her perspective was, that Tidus specifically said, I want to go to Zanarkand to see it with my own eyes. I don't believe you that this is a destroyed city. I want to see it with my own eyes. You know, that's when he made that decision to go there. That's his motivation for coming on this adventure. And, you know, it's just amazing how it loops back to that exactly then. And even back then, Auron says she means the city, the ruins of a city that was destroyed 1,000 years ago. And you just can't believe it at the time. No, I was just at Zanarkand. And one of the most fascinating points of interest to me, therefore, about this whole game is the fact the dream Zanarkand that we sighted is there right now. People are still living there. It's out there somewhere. It's very cool. All right, so there's a chest over here. And those weird things, like Wakka's never really been very on the ball for the difficult things. Spiritual charge, what does that give us? Magic, I guess? MP Stroll, it gives us our MP back as we walk. They give us the Stroll stuff as if it's really overpowered, but it's really not. MP Stroll's probably a bit better because it means you don't really need to use ethers, but still. But yeah, you know, Wakka's never really been on the ball, but even him, the things he's been saying, such as, oh yeah, maybe we'll go to your Zanarkand afterwards, it's cool, we'll fly there on the airship, you know, it's cool, whatever. He's right, you could, in theory, do it. So, we'll keep travelling on, and just over this ramp here is the end of Zanarkand Ruins. We're at the overpass. Now that's cool, that this is called the overpass, and you remember at the start of the game, Auron, as Jecht came to take Tidus and Auron back to Spira, Auron led us across these giant overpasses, and that's in theory where we are now that have all been rocked down. Really cool. Not that, but that only happened in Dream Zanarkand, but it's based off of real Zanarkand, so, you know. And also explain some other things. Why was Auron so fearless at the start of the game? Is it just because he's a typical badass? Cool guys don't look at explosions? Or is it that he knew there was no reason to be scared? Because it was just a Dream Zanarkand he was in. He wasn't going to be harmed at all. You know, there could be real reasons to it.
Journeyer of the long road, name yourself.
I am the summoner Yuna. I have come from the island of Besaid.
Your eyes, my dear, show me the long road you have traveled. Very good. You have journeyed well. Lady Yunalesca will surely welcome your arrival. Go to her now, and bring your guardians with you. Go.
Yes.
Now, this old man here, this unsent that starts disappearing, remember him. If you're going to watch my X2 Let's Play, remember him. He is one of the biggest, most important characters in that story. He's a fascinating character, really cool, part of the deep lore of the story, but in Final Fantasy X, he just appears as this weird dude that speaks to you at the start of Zanarkand and leaves. There's more to his story, trust me guys. It's great stuff. Alright, let's move in.
If it might benefit the future of Spira, I will gladly give my life. It is the highest honor for which a guardian might ask. Use my life, Lady Yoken, and rid Spira of sin.
What was that?
Our predecessors.
She said Lady Yoken, didn't she? Wait, she guarded High Summoner Yoken?
This dome is filled with fireflies. It's like one gigantic sphere. People's thoughts remain here, forever.
you get some really cool insights now into the previous summoners, the other high summoners. This is the dome interior, the Zanakan Dome, also known as the Yevon Dome. If we walk outside, you might be like, where are we? You might recognize this place here from the start of the game. By the dome, it's the Blitzball Stadium, guys. This is the Zanakan Blitzball Stadium. One of two in Spirit that we've seen. Okay, so we're moving on. That guy, by the way, I just looked it up on the outside. His name was Tremor. So I'd forgotten his name for a second, but yeah, if you want to look him up, that was his name. Alright, so, oh yeah, who remembers Defender X? That was a fun fight. This is Defender Z. I don't think it's quite as powerful as Defender X was. Honestly, it wasn't that long ago we were fighting Defender X. Let's Hastesia. I would at least go for a full fight on every new fiend here for you guys. Not that these are fiends, so this is like what I'm talking about with the mug thing. If you mug this enemy, would you expect to get Albed potions from this thing? This ancient machina from the dead city of Zanakins? No, you don't want to think that there's been Albed around here. But you do get Albed potions from them, and I don't know, it just seems weird. So Dark Buster, useful against him. You can mug him for a Lunar Curtain, actually. I may even be completely wrong. I think there's some smaller machina around, though. Maybe it's just the ones on the ascent of Mount Gagazet that I took such offense to. I find it kind of weird that there is no, like, story about going back down on Gagazet, but hey, maybe they were running a little bit short on time here. Or it was just unnecessary. You don't want to elongate the plot a bit too much. Earlier in the LP, I was talking about how it seemed weird the North Bank on the Moonflow didn't have so much. Now, I think for Riku's character development, that is a mistake, but, you know, the game is long. It's longer than I anticipated. LPing it, it's been longer than I was really expecting. I compared it to my Azuric LP, which I perhaps somewhat foolishly, should we try and shoot and star? I might be able to eject him. Perhaps somewhat foolishly thought, hey, you know, I completed Azuric. That was a huge game by just doing some big sit-downs over a week or so. Yeah, we can eject him. There you go. Oh, that was awesome. He was way off in the distance.
No time to waste. Let's go.
Yeah, I like your style, Auron. So there you go. Should have brought Yuna in, whatever. I've sort of resigned to not getting Holy before the next fight. So, basically, yeah, I thought, well, maybe I can just get through this like I did Azuric. But this has been like, I don't know. Episode-wise, it doesn't seem that big of a difference, but when each episode is like over double the length or even more, it's taken its toll. Not that every second of it hasn't been enjoyable. It's just been interesting of how you seem to, I don't know, because it's easy, once you finish playing it, it's easy to remember the whole story, you know? Alright, so here's some enemies we may have remembered from Bevelle. Well, it only makes sense that if the Zanakan people were at war with them, then these guys would have them too. We're going to open up with Hastesia. You can steal holy water from the YKs in front. So, this could be your best opportunity to stock up on holy water if you've forgotten to. It's particularly useful in this area and against certain enemies in the future too. So, be aware. He'll counterattack that. Oh, with 5k crit as well. That's brilliant. Almost 5k. No one's hitting Auron. Auron's got counter as well, you know. That guy's down, and so you got 3 holy waters. So it depends how much you think you're going to struggle against Seymour. You can use ranged attacks on people on the back line. It's not going to be a problem. I regretted not showing that off before. He's going to use his mortar thing, probably kill whoever he hits. Yeah, it was Whacker. Down he goes. It's fine, though. I think the YKs should be nearly dead, yeah, because of the counter. We run in, leave Whacker's body behind. That's cool. What happens if we res him now? Actually, I'll res with the other guy. I wanna hit him with Auron. And I'm guessing Mega Phoenix is, again, an option here. Oh no, he just died. Sorry, Whacker. That's really cool. Having his body all the way back there. So, yeah, another opportunity for thrust kick. If you missed all those temporary enemies around Bevelle before, this is your thrust kick place after that. Basically, all of the Lancet things you can get all the time except the final one. The hidden one we haven't got yet. You only have one opportunity to get that. You miss it, it's over. But all the others, you're fine. So here, you will see we got a bunch of fallen monks. Zanakan monks, I would suppose. They all have zombie. Or maybe these are old guardians, who knows. They all have zombies, so if you throw, say, a mega potion at them, it's going to do 2k damage across the board to all of them. Not enough to kill them, as you can see. So maybe not a good use of mega potions, but it will let you finish the fights off. And indeed, the flamethrower guys, or maybe the rifle guys too, have that same bug as before, in which you get double overdrive mode for attacking them, killing them, stuff like that. So let's just demo it here. I'll have Auron mug that guy to death. Candles of life, that's pretty nice. They inflict doom. So here, if we kill this guy, watch Whacker's overdrive. Goes way up from 1 kill. So it's the same deal here. You also notice that if you get shot by them, they inflict you with a zombie. So if you're struggling in these battles, then that's something you want to pay attention to. Anyway, there was one extra chest up there. I did grab it, didn't I? I think I grabbed it. Ad Guild, didn't it? Let's check. Yeah, it did. It had Gil in it. I did manage to get it. Okay, continue up. Most of the hidden chests in this dome are that kind of thing. Same enemies here, just a different formation. I'll see you guys in a sec. Very smooth double Mega Phoenix there because we got the overkill. Very nice. I used up an attack reels. I mean, you may as well. Save sphere here. So it's not a particularly dangerous place. It's not like they slowly spread save spheres further and further away. Do you know what? I think they should have two types of save spheres in this game. They should have save spheres where you can save the game and save spheres that heal you and you can save the game. Like a red save sphere. If they did that, they would set up some more interesting play where you have endurance. But it's not frustrating because of, you know, really devastating game overs. You still go back just a tiny bit, but you get to experience that endurance a bit more. Plus, it would make the Aeon mechanic a bit better where they heal, stuff like that. I stopped talking there because I was expecting a cutscene, but instead we got a battle with another Defender Z. You notice Whacker getting a lot of critical hits. I've cut most of it out, but you will notice in the future he's getting a lot. And it's all because of the luck we've given him. He's about to get a bunch more. I'll make a point of something also. A lot of people are on their third overdrive now. Tidus still only has his first 2, right? He's still only got his first 2. He's got 2 more after that, and they're exponentially much more difficult to get. It's all just from using your overdrive a lot. And may I remind you that I once grinded at the start of this game to have all of the overdrives at the first pond where you can kill piranhas with Riku at the start. Okay? Maybe that's some good perspective there.
No! Mother, no! I don't want you to become a Fade!
There is no other way. Use me and defeat sin. Only then will the people accept you.
I don't care about them! I need you, Mother! No one else!
I don't have much time left.
Hey, wasn't that...
Seymour?
Wow, a bit of backstory there. So Seymour was a summoner on a pilgrimage to defeat Sin with his mother. They came here. Interesting. And Seymour never beat Sin. I mean, it makes sense, right? Seymour beats Sin, then people will stop hating him as a half Guado, half human abomination, you know? As I'm sure they saw him. Alright, bunch more experience there. I was looking for chests. I could have sworn there was a chest here, but I guess not. Maybe it's at the end of this. There we go, it's at the end of this one. So with that, we'll grab a friend sphere. The way my guide describes this bit is it says, watch the cutscene where you'll see an old friend referring to Seymour. And then it says, there's also a friend sphere in the chest nearby. It's like so forced. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Jesus. But yeah. Alright, another counter. Thank you very much. Free damage. Look, I'm just annoying as these Baruda things. That guy's down. More holy water for us. You'll notice one thing the game does. Obviously, you can't customize stuff using purchasable items. So you can't use that holy water to customize, like, zombie proof or something. Because otherwise people would just buy it from merchants and then, you know, there's no fun there. Wow, we one-shot that guy. Interesting.
That's how it's done.
I was going to get Yuna in a second. Okay, but moving on over here. We're getting close now, guys. We're on the other side of the dome right now. Down below is a chest, which you can grab pretty easily. Not much enemy variety, you'll notice. In the early areas of Zanarkand, you get the same fiends that you would have found... I'm just going to attack. That you would have found around the caves in Gagazet, like the big ones. They seem to seep down into Zanarkand a bit, and that makes sense geography-wise. But yeah, I wonder whether they should have ever added a time where Tidus, like in the Gagazet caves, is like, "Hey, I know what this thing is." But these things used to come to the town every now and then, and people would hate them and be scared of them. But maybe they were less dead back then, frankly. I mean, a war eventually broke out, so there were probably a lot dead by then, but still. Oh, I'm loving these one-shots. This is great. Though I am sort of power leveling just these 3 right now. Perhaps that's a mistake. But, oh. Look!
Hey, Braska. You don't have to do this.
Thank you for your concern.
Fine, I said my piece.
Well, I haven't. Lord Braska, let us go back. I don't want to see you die. You knew this was to happen, my friend. Yes, but I cannot accept it. Oren, I am honored that you care for me so. But I have come to kill grief itself. I will defeat sin and lift the veil of sorrow covering Spira. Please understand, Oren.
Man, how crazy must that be? For all three of those characters, Yuna seeing her father, Tidus seeing his father, Auron seeing himself. There's a very good reason that's those three that they share in the background there. Jeez. Oh, man, I love it. I love it so much. All right, so we got to get to that chest down there. How have I messed this up? I guess you got to go down that other bit. All right, 1 second. Let's deal with this trash. Got to take out the trash. All right, let's go down. So there you go. That's it. We just had to clip our way through a little bit. So down here, you will notice cheekily hidden is a chest. Level 3 key sphere for you available down there. I believe that is the last chest in this area for us to worry about. So let's push on up. Let's keep following Braska and that lot. And Jecht. I love how little Jecht had to say there too. Like, he stuck to his character. He's like, oh, well, I said my piece, fine. But, you know, he... the game for a little while, I feel, focuses a bit too much slightly on Jecht. And that's what kind of puts people off of Tidus a little. Let's go with a Dragon Fang here. I reckon I can triple overkill him. If I'm quick enough, anyway. Oh, it only does the front row. See, what are those stupid little mechanics like that? Man, that you barely get to experience in the game. Okay, fine. You know, I think they focus just a tiny bit on it. Tidus goes on about Jecht just a tiny bit for a while. But after that, you know, it completely eases off. And I think that's fine. Why do they focus whackers so hard? There we go. And heal these guys up. Alright, moving on. Moving on. Don't make me equip that peaceful bangle on Lulu. Don't make me equip it. Oh, look, some actual monks. We haven't seen any of these for a while. Jeez. Alright. Oh, one thing I never showed you guys. The Sanctuary Keeper you can threaten. Oh, man, I was really looking forward to showing you guys that. Yeah, you can threaten the Sanctuary Keeper and it just petrifies him and he just won't move. So it won't petrify him. It will, you know, freeze him with fear. But it is possible. That's the giant monster we killed at the end of Gagazet. Pretty easy fight anyway, but yeah, that's one of his weaknesses. Threaten. Try it yourself if you haven't done it yet. I'm not going to stop to heal. Come on, we can make it. Yes! We got through the door. Those guys running ahead. Chest right here. This is really weird the way that they do it. So there's your luck sphere. And Wakka's now got the stuff. So let's move him here. Right, now Wakka's going to learn his final ability, which is called Triple Foul. And this is the one I described before that applies a bunch of stuff. I think this is the first level 3 key sphere I'm using on the grid. That's broken him into Lulu's path. I don't really know why I just did that, because I don't want to activate that at all. But here, so we'll go Luck Sphere there. And Fortune Sphere to fill it up. And if we ever find another Luck Sphere, we've got another one waiting around for us, which is cool. So yeah, that's, we could even give him some health. There you go. Beautiful. I haven't used one of those for a while. So now he'll be up towards Lulu stuff. I'll probably get him this defense here, this power here, and because that's 4 points of strength. And then what I'll do is I'll probably friend sphere him over to Auron, who's near the end of his path. Then I'll make Wakka go backwards through Auron's, and Auron will just open this lock and break into Wakka's, like so. You see? And in this way, the offensive hitters stay on the offensive lines. Tidus has got quite a few sphere levels here, actually. I may stop recording soon. It might not be the end of the episode. It might be. I don't know. But I'll probably stop and just go grind and do that stuff with Yuna because, I don't know, it wouldn't feel right otherwise.
Are the trials ahead?
Probably.
Here too, huh? Give me a break. I was expecting, you know, parades and fireworks.
You can ask for them after I defeat Sin.
Man. Yeah, and the parades and fireworks were there. Yuna was just talking about how happy everyone was in Bavel. It's weird, at the end of the world, where no one can see what's even going on, that's where all this significant stuff starts to happen. The common people just have no idea. All they know is someone did something that made Sin stop coming back for a while. But yeah, welcome to the Cloister of Trials. Yes, indeed, there is a Cloister of Trials in Zanarkand. I do indeed think that's going to be my cue to stop. By treading on this, you activate the damn stuff. The final Cloister of Trials of the game. It's an interesting one. It's got some weird like lore theories and stuff about it too, because it's like related to all the old ones. But we'll deal with it. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in a bit. Could be the end of the episode. If it is, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for what I can only tell you is going to be some crazy stuff and pretty much the final things in the game. I'll see you then.